Live via satellite, it's Rockline. The show where you interview the biggest stars in rock and roll. Rockline is brought to you by Fringe on Fox. Hi, I'm Bob Coburn in Los Angeles, and tonight from West Palm Beach, Florida, we welcome Nicko McBrain of Iron Maiden. To speak with Nicko, call the toll-free Rockline at 1-800-344-ROCK. That's 1-800-344-7625. One number toll-free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. And now let's welcome our guest. The impressive award-winning new movie by Iron Maiden will be in theaters worldwide on April 21st. April 21st only. Then a DVD and CD release will follow on June 9th. 6'9", perfect. 69. Rockline welcomes from Iron Maiden, Nicko McBrain. Nice to talk to you.
Good evening, boys and girls. Good afternoon, wherever you are.
We have never met. We've actually never done a Rockline together. I'm just really looking forward to this tonight. All the lines are already jammed up at 1-800-344-ROCK. Looking back in retrospect at this tour, which is just absolutely stunning, 23 shows in 45 days on 5 continents. Can you believe you pulled it off? This was really ambitious.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a year down the line now. We just completed our, I guess, fourth leg of the Somewhere Back in Time World Tour. And I must admit, after the first 6 weeks, which was the first leg, which was filmed, oh, my goodness, yeah, we really felt it. I did especially. I think everybody in the band was quite kind of burnt out, but in a great way. It was such a phenomenal success. But it was really hard with all the traveling and all the timelines, date lines. It really took its toll on a few of us. Yeah, but what a great time!
I heard that it was about 3 years in the planning to be able to make this happen. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, it was. It was one. If I'm not kind of can recall from my vague memory, we were coming back from a show in Europe. It must have been early, Dance of Death tour, somewhere around that period of time, and Bruce was, we were talking about places that we'd like to go and visit again, places that we hadn't been to that we'd like to go to, and we were kind of, it'd be so cool to go back to Australia, I'll do all this, go to India, and Bruce was going, we can't do that because it's a bit expensive and so on and so forth. The accountants are telling us we couldn't do it. And he said, but if we had our own airline or our own aircraft, we could do it. And we were like, oh, well, we could get a 747 in. And he said, no. He said, we'll do a 757. I could fly it. And we were like, oh, yeah, of course, you've got a rating for a 75. So that's kind of how the idea was, formed. And then, of course, Bruce got in touch, with Rod, and they worked out all the logistics and, all the certification for the aeroplane and what we could do, what we couldn't do. And it took almost 3 years to get it off the ground, so to speak.
Were you surprised to board the plane and see Bruce in the white shirt and the tie and the pilot's uniform? That was a gem. I mean, the first time you see Bruce, for having played with him from '83 when he had hair down to his backside, and then you walk up the stairs of the airplane and there he's in the cockpit and he's got his shirt on and then it was just wonderful. I had flown with Bruce many, many times prior to getting on our own 757. We did a few tours on, back in, Dance of Death and what have you, where Bruce was flying a Cessna C-21. So I actually sat on the right seat with him a couple of times, and that was really exciting. But no, there was no anxiety at all to get in an aeroplane with Bruce, not from my point of view anyway. Now, you fly too, right?
I do, yeah. I haven't actually got in. I kind of let the old license lapse about 5-6 years ago. But I have a twin rating, light aircraft, of course. And I got my license in 1985 on the island of Jersey, in the Channel Islands, and then I got my twin rating in Hobby Airport in just outside Houston in Texas, and that was about 86, 87. And I flew on and off over the 10, 12 years, and but Bruce took it. When he got into flying, he really took it all the way. Whereas I kind of found a set of irons and fell in love with playing golf, so therefore that took most of my time, you know. My wife is still really miffed off at me because she said, "Oh, if you kept your license current, you could have been flying yourself to all various golf clubs all over the place, you see, and taking me with you on these lovely shopping excursions."
Yeah, of course.
Right, okay, babe, fair enough. But it was. Yeah, I sat on the right seat with Bruce on a number of times.
You do 23 shows in 45 days on 5 continents, and your wife gets to shop. That's the way it works.
Yeah. Well, she did only make the last show though. She came up to New York and flew with us from New York up to Toronto, which was the very last gig. And she certainly made up for the other 21 shows she missed.
As I mentioned, the movie is in theaters on the 21st of April. Make sure you see it in the theater so you get the full experience, the big screen, the great sound, and then pick it up on DVD and CD, released on the 9th of June. And the first 3 songs we're going to play tonight are from the soundtrack and the DVD and the CD. And we'll begin with Churchill's Speech and Aces High. Nicko McBrain of Iron Maiden is here to take your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK, and you're listening to Rockline.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with great...
Iron Maiden for you on Rockline. Churchill's Speech and Aces High. Nicko McBrain is here to take your calls, and your calls are coming next. Bob Coburn, you're listening to Rockline. This is Trooper. What does it take to become the next American Idol? The answer is up to you, America. Tuesday on Fox, the Idol finalists, each one of them unique in their own way, are going to take to the stage. Who's got it? Who's going to bring it? Your vote decides who goes on and who goes home. Be there Tuesday when the remaining Idol contestants battle for your votes. Then don't miss the Wednesday Idol Results Show. Catch it now while you can. American Idol, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on It's Rockline. Welcome back. I'm Bob Coburn with Nicko McBrain and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. The line's been jammed up for quite some time on Rockline. And to kick it off is Jay from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Hey, Nicko. I'm honored to be talking to you.
Oh, hey, Jay. How are you, mate?
Hey, pretty good.
Very good.
Okay, I have 2 questions. Let's see, I saw you in Albuquerque, and I was wondering if the Somewhere Back in Time tour went as well as you guys hoped it would. And second, I heard that a guitar was stolen when you guys were on tour, and I was wondering if you guys ever found out who did that.
Oh, yeah. The first question, yeah, it was beyond our wildest dreams, mate. Fantastic tour, absolutely wonderful. As you'll notice from the, hopefully you're going to see the film, Jay. Tell me yes.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, good boy. Yeah, you know, Flight 666, what can I say? Amazing. It was the very beginning of that tour. Brilliant time. Had a great time. Yes, and we did. Adrian had one of his, he had a prototype Jackson guitar stolen. I think we were in Athens when it went missing. What had happened was the security at the gig were there kind of really watching the band, basically, and after we finished, they all buggered off. They just disappeared, so there was no stage security after we finished to keep an eye on all the equipment, and somebody just helped themselves to one of H's guitars, and it happened to be his prototype Jackson, so he was not a happy puppy. So there you go, mate. Thanks for your questions, Jay.
Did you ever get it back?
No, oh no, we didn't. By the way,
you
no. It's still out there, boys and girls. So if you see a Jackson guitar that you can tell it's a prototype, I'm sure, let us know, and we'll send Gypsy Mick or Concrete Sid round and have a word with whoever had it.
Well, that's bad karma to do things like that. And I will second the success of the tour. I saw you at Irvine Meadows, and it was just astonishingly good. Our next call is from Irvine, and this is Armin. Welcome to Rockline.
Hello, Nicko.
Armin, how are you?
Oh, man, I'm shaking like a whatever.
Careful, Armin.
I mean, it's great to talk to someone from Iron Maiden. This is, tremendous. I'm just shaking.
Thank you for your call, man.
My question is, usually drummers, they don't last, but you get better every day. What is your routine throughout the tour? I mean, as far as conditioning, eating or drinking, or I mean, what do you do?
Lots of both of that, dear boy. It's contrary to belief. No, the band, we don't, not a drop of alcohol passes our lips before the show. Now, after the show, you can probably gather what happens. Thanks for your question, Armin. Conditioning, basically, I make sure that I get a lot of rest, not too many late nights, get at least a minimum of 5-6 hours sleep a night, and, excuse me, have a good breakfast, make sure you eat right. Exercising, not really. I find that 2 hours on the stage with Iron Maiden, especially at my age, is quite enough exercise for one day. But before a show, I will have a small drum set in a room somewhere away from the rest of the guys, because they hate hearing me bash me tubs, because it's very noisy. And then I do a little 10-minute warm up before I hit the show, before I go on stage. But no real conditioning, just looking after yourself and not having too many hangovers. It does help.
Thanks for the call, Armin. Again, the film, Flight 666, is in theaters on the 21st of April, that day only, so you need to go see it on that day. And then on June 9th, the DVD will be released, which is the movie, and then the second disc, 16 songs taken from the tour. And one of those songs we're going to play for you right now, a version of Run to the Hills, Iron Maiden on Rockline. Run to the Hills, Iron Maiden from the movie Flight 666. Luciano is in Ottawa, Ontario, and now you're on Rockline. Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air.
Nicko?
Hey, Luciano, how are you, mate?
I'm pretty good, man. It's like a dream. And I want to tell you, first of all, how much I love your triplet technique. Like,
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Like, the first time I heard that, man, like, I was, like, freaking out, like, the counter.
Oh, bless you. Like, that's all I know how to do, I mean.
Yeah.
But thank you, Luciano. That's lovely. Well, you got a question for me, mate?
So,
listening to Rockline, yeah. Come on, mate.
Yeah, man. Okay, so, what did you do with all your drum kits from every tour?
Yes, you would like to know, wouldn't you? You would, and I'm sure you would love to go and get one of them, wouldn't you? No, I actually, I get into a bit of deep water over this, because I put them into storage, and Iron Maiden bought a warehouse for, all the fan club stuff and the Eddie store, his mega store and all that business, and we have our equipment stored in the same building. The only trouble is there's no room for anybody else's equipment, because it's all full of drum sets.
Whoops.
My drums, as you know, Luciano, they're large, it's 11 drums, 14, 15 cymbals up there, and a gong, and they've all got their own boxes. And so there's I think the flight cases are like 6 large boxes to take the whole lot in. So I actually have them in a warehouse, and to be very honest with you, I have been thinking about maybe doing an auction sometime in the near future for a charity. I kind of represent a couple of charities, and I'm thinking I might do that, and so put them up on sale and clear out some room and put the PA, and we still got our old PA, and that sort of, it's getting too much, So they're all back in England, mate, in a warehouse.
Luciano, do you have another question?
Yeah. Is there going to be like a lot of like scenes from you in the new movie, Flight 666, like a lot of Nicko?
Yeah, there is actually. I'll tell you little quick story. When I first saw the rushes of the film just before Christmas, and I had an email from Scotty and Sam, and they said, how do you think of the movie? We're sending you a copy, let us know. And I watched it, and I sent an email back to them both, said, absolutely I can't be sending you what I wrote, because it's not allowed on over the airwaves, boys and girls. And then he sent me an email. a message back saying, "Were there enough drum shots?" You can imagine what I wrote back, can't you?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
You are effing joking, aren't you? Of course there aren't. But no, Luciano, I've got to be honest. There's some great shots, and the wonderful thing about the shots from my point of view is the way they captured certain aspects of my playing. We have some really over the top shots that are really nice. There's a couple of bass drum shots in there, my footwork and stuff that I had missed on previous videos, like the Rock in Rio, for instance. There's some great drum shots, but they're very quick and they give me a little bit more screen time, and I'm very pleased about that. So I hope you will be, and any fellow wonderful drummers out there who like to watch that sort of stuff.
I tell you, in seeing the movie, I felt like I was on tour with you guys. We're coming back with more in just a moment. More of your calls, more rock and roll. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Tuesday on an all-new Fringe. Olivia discovers she shares a disturbing childhood connection with a man who has a telepathic power that can kill. Fringe, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on Fox. Back in just a moment. More of your calls on the other side. Hey, it's Rockline. Welcome back on BC. Bob Coburn with Nicko, McBrain, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. RocklineRadio.com is our website. Check out who's coming up on Rockline. Keith Emerson, Heaven and Hell, Great White performing live, Carlos Santana, Dave Mason's going to plug in and play live in the Rockline studio. Robin Trower will join us soon, and you can all see what's going on at RocklineRadio.com. We stream our shows, too. The last 4 shows are available for streaming on the website. Time for the encore question. It's sponsored by Red Wing Shoes. Find your shovel-ready boots at redwingshoes.com. Here's Duff McKagan.
Hey, Nicko. This is Duff McKagan from Loaded and Velvet Revolver and Guns N' Roses. We toured with you guys back on the Seventh Son tour. So I wonder, I saw you at catering a few times during that tour. And do you remember what the name of the main course? I'm not giving it too much away with that. The main course of dinner for catering was that you guys put on every night. That's my question.
Oh, come on. I love him. I do. And he ought to know that, for a rock and roller to think back like, how many years? 20 plus years. To remember what they had for dinner every night? Nah. Bangers and mash, maybe? Could have been that. Fish and chips? No, might not have been fish. You can't get a decent bit of fish and chips anywhere other than England.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It could be toad in the hole, maybe. No, could it be toad? Oh, could be roast beef. Oh, roast beef and Yorkie puds with roast tatties, maybe. I'm not sure. Be honest with you, I don't remember. I very rarely ate in catering, and when I did go in there, I'd eat a salad or something very light because I couldn't eat a lot of. That's one of the things I can't eat. Before I go on stage. I may be at 5 o'clock in the evening, so I leave myself a good 3 hours to digest whatever it is I'm going to eat. But, come on, boys and girls. Bob, you've got to know the answer to this, haven't you?
I think you wanted the name of the course and not the food, and it has to do with something about the name of the tour.
Oh.
But I honestly don't know. I was not here when he asked it, so I don't have the answer.
Well, I really couldn't tell you, mate. So I guess I get the blooper award for that one because I don't remember.
Oh, you don't always have to answer these questions. They're just posed.
I did my best. It's
fine with me. Let's go to Portland, Oregon to talk with Corey. Corey, you're on Rockline.
BC.
Hey, how are you? Talk to Nicko.
It's time to up the irons.
There you go.
Oh, well done, Corey. How are you, son?
I'm doing great, my man. I saw you at the White River Amphitheater. I wanted to know if you happened to talk to your tour manager that night. He took some vintage photos of a banner that I had made for you 20 years ago for the Somewhere in Time tour back in '87 at the Tacoma Dome and at the Coliseum here in Portland. Been following you forever. 2 questions for you. First question was, with the past success of the last tour, can future tours be done in the same vein with bringing back Retro Eddie? And the second question for you was, how did you go from playing with such acts as Pat Travers to being a staple in the Maiden for over 20-plus years, replacing Clive Burr back in the 80s?
Oh, great questions, mate. Thank you. Well, thanks again, mate, for listening to Rockline, and especially Bob. You guys are great. Well, who knows what could happen in the future? Our plans at the moment are to move away from, the past era. We're going to be doing a new album and then going out and touring that, and of course, that's not going to happen until 2010 to 11. So after we've done that, you never know. We kind of make an idea, and we as you know, if you were listening earlier when we were talking about how Flight 666 came about and doing the aeroplane with, as Bruce calls it, the magic carpet, right? That was an idea, and we ran with that, and it blossomed into what we have just finished in this historical moment. Now, if we do something again like that in the future, who knows? It's a possibility, Corey, and I can't say we won't, and I can't say we will. It just depends how we feel, if we want to do something like that again. The transition from, playing with someone like Pat, Pat Travers and all the bands I've ever worked with, I've been blessed to play with great musicians, fantastic guitar players and singers and wonderful bass players. And my style basically was molded from a younger age, and on my pedigree, I like to blow my own horn on my pedigree, which was Ringo Starr, Charlie Watts, Keith Moon, and the wonderful, great late John Bonham, and obviously Mr. Moon, great late Mr. Moon. So my style of playing was really etched into me at an early age, and it was just a natural progression for me, Corey. I went with Pat, and then I went off with a couple of other people, a band called McKitty, then I worked with a French band, Truss, and in between that, various little odds and sods. But, moving the transition into Maiden, it was just you put the musical head on, or the musical hat on your head, and if it works for you, then, you carry on with what you're doing. And so I was blessed to be able to, please the guys in Maiden when I first went in and bashed the tubs for them. And the first date I actually laid a stick on a drumhead was January the 9th, 1983, and I haven't looked back. I've been in a lot of trouble with them over the years, but
important
but
date.
Thanks, Corey. Thanks for. Sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Important date. You remember that date immediately.
Of course, yeah. Of course I do.
And
Corey, thank you so much for your questions, mate. Very nice questions, man.
And those are four of the greatest drummers in the history of rock and roll that you mentioned. I mean, it's just that is the cream of the crop right there. Again, the movie is in theaters only on the 21st of April, so go see it and check it out on the big screen with a great sound. Then the DVD is released on June 9th with an accompanying CD, and from that CD, this is Fear of the Dark. It's Iron Maiden on Rockline. Just excellent. Fear of the Dark, Iron Maiden. The movie is the 21st of April in screens all over the world. It's I think on about 450 screens in a ridiculous amount of countries. It's close to 40 countries, I think. Don't you love the crowd on that song, Fear of the Dark?
Oh, when we were talking about somewhere back in time, that was the mid 80s, early 80s plus before, and we thought, well, we want to stick a couple of gems in from a different era, late 80s, early 90s, and Fear of the Dark being the prime example right there, And in fact, we did Moonchild, it was Seventh Son, I think. But no, yes, Seventh Son. And, that song, it's one of those main staples songs now, like Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, most cases Run to the Hills, and you'll always get Hello Be Thy Name. But Fear of the Dark is one of those songs that it's just something about that song, especially when as soon as it kicks off at the beginning, the kids are singing the guitar line and the guitar melodies, and then when you get in, it's just one of those. It captures all the audience, and everybody just gets that passion for it, And it's they're singing their hearts out. I mean, there was one gig we played. I'm trying to think where we were, and it was a while ago, and the power went out. And we certainly know one of the shows where the power went out, don't we, boys and girls? We ain't going to go there,
east of Los Angeles a little bit?
Yeah, a little bit, a little due north of Watford. and a little bit west. But we were playing that song, and the kids sang it. And we just stood there, and it was like,
That's
we
cool.
didn't need the band. We thought, hang on a minute, we could be onto something here. Do we need our instruments? We just pluck the first few notes of the song and not let the kids go. No, it's magic. It's just hearing that song just now, just the end piece of that song. I'm sitting there thinking, I need to be up on stage playing it.
Yeah, there you go. It's goosebumps, no doubt about it.
It really does. Yeah, it's a classic song.
Let's talk to Dan in Denver, Colorado. Welcome to Rockline, Dan.
How you doing, gentlemen? It's a pleasure to talk to both of you. I have 2 questions, if I can. First question, I wanted to know, Nicko, what was the relationship between the Maiden crew and then the Flight 666 film crew during the tour?
Oh, it was fantastic. Excuse me. Tommy, just a little bit of air coming out of me there. Not out of the mouth, by the way, boys and girls. Beg your pardon.
It's live radio,
Behave yourself, will you? Dan, I'm sorry. I digressed a little bit, didn't I? That's what I'm calling it at the moment. I beg your pardon. The crew, we have, as you know, in all of our programs, we call them the Killer Crew. That's for, and it's a term of flat, of endearment to them. They are an amazing crew, but Sammy and Scotty, they were out with us for that, as you know, the whole 6 weeks plus, and they had this amazing relationship because they had to work closely with them because they were coming in and out with their cameras, and they were, they were well out the way. They weren't obtrusive. They weren't in your favour. If they were, Bruce would have probably kicked the camera off, whoever was holding it. But it was phenomenal. They had a great relationship. There's a couple of scenes in the film where they filmed the crew backstage while we were playing, and it's really, really funny and endearing. But they had a wonderful relationship with them. And what was your second question?
What else?
Sorry, Dan.
My second question was, I had the honor of taking my 12-year-old son to see you guys for the first time in Albuquerque last year, and you've kind of helped to inspire him to take up the drums, and I was just curious if you had any instructional DVDs out there that could maybe help a young lad out.
Well, I do have one I made way back in 91, 92, and if you want him to play properly, don't let him look at it. It's not really. It's not really educational. It was just me, but making a complete. How can I put this without swearing?
You can say ass.
Complete fool of myself. No, it was a recorded drum show, and there's a little bit of educational stuff in there, and I would, as far as videos go and stuff like that, I think the best way for your son to learn to play is listen to records, and let him play along with records. That's how I learned, and that's how a lot of people I knew, when I was growing up, not too many years ago, of course, but they would listen to records and jam along with them and play with other people. The educational videos and the tutorial videos, I would leave that for a few years until he gets to the stage where he wants to have a look at other people's playing. It's always best to have your own identity, of course, but you can learn from all the masters and take a little bit off of this guy. And like as I said, I had 4 drummers that were, my foundation. And I took a lot of, from each of them. Excuse me. But I just think that, let him practice, give it, have a word with mum, do a deal with her, and let son have a bash for about an hour and a half a day, whether it's, midday or when he comes home from school. Let him have a crack, and don't keep giving him a clip round the ear when he's tapping at the table, at the dinner table. Just, encourage him. That's what
Give him a pass, yeah.
Dan, thanks for your questions, man. Thanks for listening to Rockline, man.
There you go, Dan. You can say ass in American radio. You just can't make the ass WHOLE. Whole. We'll be back in just a moment on Rockline. Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Tuesday on an all-new Fringe. Olivia discovers she shares a disturbing childhood connection with a man who has telepathic power that can kill people. Fringe, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, and it's coming your way on Fox. We're coming back in just a moment. Welcome back to Rockline. I love that song, The Klansman, for you there. We're with Nicko McBrain, and your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. Nicko is in Florida, in West Palm Beach at the Gator, and Robert is in Port St. Lucie, Florida, and now on Rockline. Hi, Robert.
How you doing? Great to be talking with you guys.
Thank you.
I caught your last show April 2nd, and I was just wondering, I had a couple questions. Did you guys throw any kind of special celebration when you ended the tour?
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah. I wasn't there. I went home. Hello, Robert. How are you, mate?
I'm good.
What's the weather like where you are? Sorry.
Like you wouldn't know.
It's just the English sense of humour.
Yes,
boys and
it's
girls out there
wonderful, too.
Robert, excuse me. Yeah, the original plan was that we were all going to meet back at the hotel where the band was staying, and wait for the crew to come back after they packed away all the equipment that you needed to get put on the aeroplane the next morning. And I actually told the guys, look, I'm going to go back home. I've got my family here and all my friends, and I need to run away. I had 165 guests turn up at the gig. Oh, that cost me a heck of a lot of money. I can't believe it. I mean, how foolish was that? Want to come and see the boys? Yeah, all right. Okay, fair. How much are the tickets? $50. All right. No, there was a party planned, but apparently the road crew went to some Irish pub that stayed open till 4 o'clock in the morning for them. The rest of the guys stayed back at the hotel and had a party. Steve wasn't there and I wasn't there. But apparently they all had a lovely time, and we did. So there you go. Next question, Robert.
Down for you.
I'm sorry, Robert?
Adrian put a couple pipes down for you?
Yeah, I do believe more than a couple of pints, yes. Yeah.
Let's move on. We have Chris located in Chicago. We'll talk to Chris. Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing? Hi, Nicko.
Hello, Chris.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. And yourself?
Oh, not too bad. I tell you, Nicko, it's a pleasure and an honor to talk to you. I'm nervous calling here tonight.
Oh, don't be nervous, mate.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you a quick question, if I can.
Of course you can.
Yeah, I've been following you guys since like the early '80s, so huge fan. Hey, how do you feel about winning how you guys feel about winning the South by Southwest award?
Oh my goodness gracious! Now there you go. Look, Oh yeah, it was. I've got to be honest with you. Iron Maiden, we don't hold a lot of credence to awards and stuff, although they're very nice. The only time they really make a lot of difference for us is when it's voted on by the fans. This is a slightly different situation because it was voted by, I gather, a whole bunch of critic people that were there, and there was lots of other documentaries being shown. And when we got the news about the South by Southwest 24 Beats Per Second award, which was, it was astounding. I mean, we all just we were in the dressing room, where were we? I'm trying to remember where we were. In Quito. And we found out we were just over the moon, mate, and it was really something very special because it was, it was for the film. It was a film that was recognised for the guys that made it, which was Sammy Dunn and Scotty McFadden and Banger Productions, and it really goes to them. And just before you go, mate, I've got to say this, if I may, Bob. This movie, by the way, the true stars of it are the fans. And it really makes it extra special for us that it did win the award, because it just goes to show that, the fans can make it for you. And that's what happened in this film.
Flight 666, movie theaters the 21st of this month. You guys also got the Brit Award for Best Live Band, so congratulations on that, too.
Thank you so much. Yeah, again, the Brit Award, I digress a little bit, Chris, from your question, but... the Brit Award, again, that was voted for by fans, and it meant a lot to us to receive that award, because it was an accolade from our fans phoning in. They made it work, and it wasn't one of the industry votes, if you like. And we were very, very impressed by the fact that our fans took the effort, from all around the world to phone in a vote, and we won it. So I actually reminded me there, Bob, I haven't actually received my little statue yet. It's very nice. Must admit, it's going to look nice on your mantelpiece.
Yeah. Gotta get it. Probably more than any band, there's a lot of ways for a band or an artist to become popular. The fans really did it for Iron Maiden, more than probably any other band that I can think of.
Very much so, and it, Bob, you've seen the movie, so I think I'm preaching to the converted here. You've seen it, you can understand what I'm saying. But for you boys and girls out there who have yet to see it, and I hope you all can get to see it on the 21st of April. Some theatres, I don't know in America, but some theatres around the world are actually playing it for, have extended the one day. I don't know if it's happening in America here, but some of them are. But the thing is, you'll see this, and you'll see the passion and the, just the passion of these kids around the world. They speak different languages, but the music is universal, and they just come up to the front, and they are the Maiden Army, and they are the fans of this movie. Well, the best thing I can say about the movie, I was fortunate enough to see it in a private screening. I'm going to see it again on the 21st. I'm hosting the KLOS premiere at the Mann's Chinese Theater. I'd like to see it again, so I'm going to 2 Minutes to Midnight, Iron Maiden for you on Rockline. Wait. Some good rocking tonight. Iron Maiden, 2 Minutes to Midnight. Nicko McBrain is our guest. He's taking your calls at 1-800-344-ROCK. I'm Bob Coburn, and Rockline is brought to you by Fox. Fox Tuesday on an all-new Fringe, Olivia discovers she shares a disturbing childhood connection with a man who has telepathic powers that can kill. It's an interesting show, Fringe. Check it out Tuesday at 9, 8 Central, and it's coming your way on Fox. Brighter Than 1,000 Suns. For those of you listening to Rockline tonight, if you have not picked up a copy of Matter of Life and Death by Iron Maiden, you should do so. What a tremendous album. I hope the next one is anywhere near as good as that last album was, Nicko. Well, thanks, Bob, and thanks everybody out there who went and went out and bought a copy of it. It was a fantastic tour too. We played the whole album. Mm-hmm. Bit controversial. A lot of people gave us a bit of flack for it, but after they came to the show and saw it being and heard it and saw it being played live, everybody went away with a big smile on their face. No grumblings. Couple of bit boys and girls on the website would go, I didn't particularly care for the whole album and being played. We wanted a bit of the older stuff, which is fair enough, I'd love to play everything Maiden's ever recorded, but I don't think we'd last the gig somehow.
You'd still be on stage.
We would, we don't know what direction the new album's going to take until we all get together in November, December this year to get some writing ideas, put down and rehearse them up, and then we make the album in January of 2010. Now, who knows where we're going to go? I think, we never base ourselves on an album. You can't go, how can you top that? How can you top that? And this one and that one. And you just don't. You put it, that's done, dusted, and put away, and you just go in and write the best album you can and the best music. And the best songs that we feel at that time will make the album. And the ones that aren't, maybe they might do for something else. But, thanks, Bob. I hope it's going to be as good, if not better.
Yeah, done, and on to the next one. That's the way you have to do it. Steve in Seabrook, New Hampshire. Welcome to Rockline.
Hey, up the irons, Nicko McBrain. And I'll tell you, I have to say that A Matter of Life and Death was the greatest album since the day of Somewhere in Time or Power Slave. The greatest performance. Started in Quebec City. People are mental up there. Got to say congratulations on the Brit Awards.
Thank you, Steve.
Congratulations for that. I'm going to be at Maiden Mania Day on Tuesday in Boston here, going crazy at this movie here. It's unbelievable.
It's a Regent, isn't it?
What's that?
Isn't it playing at the Regent in Boston?
The Regent Theater in Arlington. Great place. I'll tell you. My question for you is, was anybody leery in the band about having a camera crew following you guys around on cooped up in a plane, geez, I can see Harry or Bruce, you catch him at the wrong time, or any of you guys, you're all human beings, man, and yet to have a crew around. When I heard about this, read about this, I was like, geez, how's this going to go?
I can actually, yes, it was. A friend of mine, he had a saying. He came around. I said, "Come and stay at my house for a couple of days." He ended up staying for a week, and he said, "Yeah, Nick," he said, "I got to leave." I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, it's like you know, when guests turn up at your house and they're only supposed to spend a couple of nights and they end up spending a week, he said it's like, mate, very similar to having a piece of fish in your fridge. After about 3 or 4 days, it goes off and you've got to sling it out.
Fish and guests smell after 3 days.
And I said, and honestly, Steve, great question, mate. This thought came to me when we were on the plane after about 3 weeks. I remember I was sitting at my seat and I was reading some book or the other, and the camera came around the side of the seat, right? And the boys were having a laugh, and I wasn't in a good mood. And it was like I turned around and I stood up and I said to Sammy, he says, "See you, if you don't get that camera out of my face, you see that emergency exit over there? I'm going to open that fucking door." Oh, I beg your pardon. I'm going to open that door. I didn't actually swear, boys and girls, if you listen back to that.
You said king, I believe. Yeah.
King, yeah. I said, if you open that door over there, I won't say it again because I'll get into trouble with my governor. He'll hear this. And he'll go, "Oh, yeah, Bob and Bobby, you have a word with me." Anyway, I said, see that entrance, that exit? I said, I'm going to open that door. I'm going to sling that camera out first, and you're going to go after it. Or I might sling you out first, and then the camera will follow you. So get out of the way. And there were moments like that. Of course there were. And I think I was the only one that maybe kind of voiced it a bit. The rest of the guys have got more decorum and more manners than I have. I'm a bit of a bear's head. When I go off, I go off. And so, but Scotty and Sammy, they got to know me. They got to know all of us in the band, and they knew and they respected. Although I was a little curt and sharp with them, they were fine, you know, and they are so much a part of this Iron Maiden family now. They're stuck with us now. So, yeah, Steve, you know, I was the one possibly the most, you know, Bruce a couple of times got a little bit, get out of the way, and he was another word in there somewhere, so, you know, you imagine what it was. But yeah, they did, you know, the agony and the ecstasy, really. But it was worthwhile persevering, and that for them anyway, and for us. And we've got this incredible movie, Flight 666, and I am very psyched about it, and I'm so happy, at the bottom of my heart, that Sammy and Scotty were the guys that were there with us from Banger Productions to do this movie. They were stunning. The rest of their crew, not so sure about them, but no, they were fantastic. there were 6 of them, 7 sometimes. No, they were great. They were really great. So, Steve, yeah, thanks, mate, for your question. Thanks for listening to Rockline. And oh man, you know, Bob Coburn, give it up for Bob, boys and girls, wherever you are. Lift a drink. Bless you, mate.
Thanks, Steve. It's Matt's turn. Matt is in Virginia, in Bridgewater. Hey, Matt, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Nicko?
Hey, Matt, how are you, mate?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Oh, very well, mate. Having the time of my life here tonight, talking to you lot.
Sounds good, man. I got 2 questions for you. The first one is about the Florida gig from a couple weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
The question is, how did it feel to perform Hallowed Be Thy Name with your son in front of a sold-out crowd in your hometown?
Oh, bless your heart, mate. You noticed, yeah. Well, first of all, being back on, you know, I've lived in Florida for 20 years. I mean, I'm still a Brit, I'm still a Londoner, but I'm a Floridian. First now, 20 years here, and it was so wonderful to finish this amazing epic journey in my hometown. We hadn't played in Florida for many years. The last time was '96 when Blaze was in the band, and we played the Chili Pepper in Broward Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale. The time before that, I think, was the old Sunrise Theatre before they put the Panthers Stadium up. I think it's a Jehovah's Witness temple now, but that's quite amazing, isn't it? Anyway,
yeah, it is.
That was like 92 or 93 Field of Dark. Anyway, it was wonderful, and every time my son Justin or my eldest boy Nicholas at a show, they will get up and play the intro to Hallowed with me, and that was just amazing. And in fact, there is one shot in the film. At the very end, Hallowed closes the Flight 666 movie, and there is one shot which is taken across the side of the stage. Bruce sits up to my right-hand side every night on this tour. He'd sit up there and he'd sing the intro to Hallowed, and there's a camera shot of Bruce from the side, and you can just see a picture of my son at the back of the drum set, and it was quite special from that respect. But Florida was great that he was here with me, and we had the best time.
I like that story. That's a very, very nice story. You know what, Matt? We're going to move on because we're running short of time now. The movie is Flight 666. It's April 21st here in America in theaters. You can't have Nicko McBrain on talking about Flight 666 without playing The Number of the Beast.
Whoa.
And The Number of the Beast is Flight 666 in movie theaters on the 21st of April. Coming your way soon. We're with Nicko McBrain from Rockline. You were talking about the gentlemen filming, Scott and Sam and their crew and everything. You kind of told, to me, a portion of the story. Correct me if I'm wrong. I heard a story that Yannick really only warmed up to them with about a week left and everything. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. He was kind of out of us all. I mean, Adrian was so it was, say, in a scale. There was Yannick was on the top, then Adrian. Davey's on the fence. He just goes with a big smile on his face all the time. He'll never say, ooh, I don't think I like that. And then me, I was kind of going, I don't know if I want to have that 24/7 camera business. But, Yannick, he certainly did warm up to them at the end, but it was too late. And, consequently, there wasn't a lot of footage of Yannick in the film talking.
Whoops.
Mind you, we did see him wandering around a lot, because that's what he likes to do, you see. He likes to wander around, find an Irish pub. And then there's a little scene in the movie where we're actually in at the Sun and Moon Pyramids. I forget the name of them, the proper Inca name. Outside Mexico, and what's he do? He's wandering around trying to find an Irish bar. For crying out loud, you got to be joking!
He's the wanderer.
He's a. But he was the most quiet one about it. He didn't. He felt it was very invasive, and he said, "Well, I don't like this. I don't know. I ain't having none of that. No. I don't like these cameras in my face. I like to go out and be quiet."
But finally he warmed up with a week left at least.
He did.
We have to take a time out. We're coming back. Come back with us. We're almost out of time. Thanks for listening, for calling to our radio stations who carry the show, to Andy Preston and John Kendrilli at the Gator in West Palm Beach, Florida, to Elliot Kendall at U-Music, Rod Smallwood, where would we be without Rod, at Phantom Music Management, the entire Iron Maiden family, and to you, Nicko. What a fun night. Thanks for coming in.
God bless you, Bob. And everybody out there, thank you so much. And to everybody you mentioned, Bob, God bless you all.
April 21st, Flight 666. See it in a big theater. You'll thank me for it. Rockline has been brought to you by Fringe on Fox. Rockline is produced by Greg Jernigan and mixed by Jimmy Rash. Thanks to Chris Martin and David Brown for their invaluable contributions. And to Jamie Sutton and Valley Sound Studios, the home of Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn, and I'll be seeing you.